What do I know? I'm just a girl on the internet. For whatever reason today, I felt like I wanted to hold the microphone for the podcast. I have a microphone stand and I have everything set up to my left over here. But today I was like, what if I just unscrew the microphone and just held it? Now, I don't really have a rhyme or reason for this. I just thought maybe this would help me like touch my face less, touch my hair less, talk with my hands less. I can already tell you the talking with my hands thing, not working out so great. If I'm holding an inanimate object in my hand, I can still talk with my hands no matter what, which is funny because I have a lot of home movies, like little bits and clippets of home movies saved to my phone. And I was actually showing Chris one the other night where I was talking about how I was at one of my aunt's house and I actually had a great time at my aunt's house, but I did not get to watch Shrek the movie. And I have a point to this, I promise. In this little video clip, I have pigtails and I am talking with my hands and my face is just like very expressive. And I'm like, I had a great time, except I didn't watch the movie Shrek. And as I'm showing Chris this video, I'm like, you know what? Say what you want about me, but like, I haven't changed. Like, even as a kid, I yapped 24/7. I had a very expressive face. I talked with my hands. I've never been able to sit still or be quiet. That's the way it is. Every report card I ever got was like, okay, she's doing fine in school, except for math. Math was always not so good for me. Every report card, great student, very attentive, like willing to work, talks too much. Report card, satisfactory, S all the way through, baby. Ooh, but need to work on the talking. It's funny because my teachers would actually like move me. They'd be like, Kayla, you're talking too much to your partner that you're sitting next to. And they would like move me across the room and I would just talk to whoever they moved me to next. Baby, you can't take the yap out of the yapper. Okay, I'm going to talk to whoever I am around. And that's on just being a yapper at heart. Don't get me wrong. This new like genre and era of people being like, I love to yap this and yap. And it's like, maybe they're getting coffee and they post a picture on their Instagram story and they go this and yap. What do y'all actually know about yapping? Because I know about yapping. I get to the point where I talk so much sometimes that I don't even think people in my life are listening to me anymore. My mom actually growing up, she would get so overstimulated with me talking as a little kid. She would send me to my neighbor's house, which was like the sweet older couple that I still love so much to this day. They're like my grandparents, basically, non-biological. My mom would be like, okay, sweetie, you're talking too much. She would never say that because she was an angel, but I knew. Actually, as I got older, she did tell me like, yeah, you actually talked. She's like, I never said it to your face, but like there would be moments where you'd be talking and you wouldn't shut the hell up. And I would send you to the neighbor's house, Gordon and Jane. Just send you right over there and you could just talk their ears off. And then there'd be a point where they would send me back because they got overstimulated. And then they'd be like, she's yours now, Cinda. That is your problem. We have had enough. So yeah, one can say that yapping is like in my DNA. I've never been stopped. I can't be stopped, which really makes sense why I have a podcast, because like where else would I channel all this energy of just talking 24/7? It's just not to myself in my basement to a camera with a microphone. Like genius. So for the haters that say I've changed, I've literally not changed. I've just become worse with time. The yapping can't stop, won't stop. Don't really know how I got on this topic already. 4 minutes into the episode. I don't know. The mic holding was to stop the hand motion and the hand motions are going. And I just, it is what it is. And you know what? If I could go back in time and talk to my younger self, I would be like, hey, queen, hey, actually don't ever shut the fuck up. Just keep it going. Because one day you're going to sit behind a camera and do your own thing and kind of have like your own little mini like job where you're your own boss and you can yap. So just never stop yapping. # never stop yapping. Okay. And if I could go back in time and talk to my school teachers, for those that used to shame me for yapping all the time, I would like to just be like, hey guys, I actually talk for a living now. Granted, the podcast is not my living. It's part of my living, not fully my living. But being in healthcare, you still be yapping. Like doing physical therapy, having to tell people about moving and exercise and percussions and weight bearing, like I be yapping. I do be yapping a lot. So to any of my elementary school teachers, hey guys, look at me now. I'm acting like I'm like hosting the Grammys or something. Like, girl, you're in your basement hosting a podcast that kind of flops, actually. But you know what? For the people that do listen, thanks so much. And you know what? It doesn't flop in my own heart. Because if you believe in something, then it doesn't matter what everyone else thinks. And it doesn't really matter about the views of the listens, because this is just fun for me. And those that do listen, I really appreciate you. So thanks so much. Without further ado, why do I do this? How do I like turn on the camera and I'm like, think of something to open the podcast with, and then I just don't shut the fuck up. Right? Okay. Welcome back to your favorite podcast. This is Girl on the Internet Podcast. I'm your host, Kayla. And you know what? Let's just talk about it. We're going to get into it today. But you know, I don't post every week. We've talked about this. We've been over it. My goal is to at least do one podcast a week. Sometimes I miss a week and I apologize. Ideally, it's Mondays, sometimes Tuesdays, might even be on a Thursday. I don't know. Just can y'all rock with me, please? I would like to be the most realistic, relatable version of myself to you guys, and I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. Sometimes you lose a little creative spark, and then you're like, what do I talk about for however long? Which you would think as a certified yapper, I wouldn't run out of topics, but sometimes I do. Sometimes I actually do run out of topics. And you could also be like me, where last week I was doing some stuff on my computer. Oh, you know what I was actually? Hey, take a breath. Take a deep breath. It's the way I haven't actually stopped talking this whole time I've hit record. Just breathe for a second. God. I was doing my taxes the other day. I was using an online service and I got kind of matchmaker vibes, match made with a online tax professional to help me with some stuff, because Lord knows I can't do that shit myself, because I'm like, I don't understand. And I had to use audio, not video, just audio to talk to the tax representative. And my computer is already set up with this microphone and my little amp cloud thingy. I do a lot of stuff that's already connected for the podcast, and it's already set up, and it's very easy for me to do. So I had to disconnect all that, which is fine, whatever. But after I was done doing my taxes, I disconnected everything. I was trying to get everything reset back up so I could record an episode of the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Record an episode. And I did it, and I did an entire episode, and it was a good one. It was a real good, juicy one. And I went to go edit it, and the audio was not particularly there. I did something weird. Don't know what I did, but my audio was basically scrapped. It was basically scrapped. I could not hear myself. It was echoey. It was weird. It was not right. I was not connected to my microphone, even though I thought I was. And even though I did 4 test runs. So as I started editing it, I was crashing out. And I said, there's no saving this. It's going to sound bad. Delete. So I went ahead and deleted that entire episode, scrapped the whole thing. So if you're wondering where the fuck I've been, it's because I had a whole tech mishap. And I swear to God, if this episode doesn't come out with good audio quality, I'm going to lose my mind. But we're manifesting that's going to be fine. I keep checking over here on my computer, and I think we're good. Although this is what it looked like last time, but I digress. We're going to hope for the best. And you know what? Maybe I am wearing my sourdough shirt. It's actually not a sourdough shirt. It's a baking shirt. It's a Life is Good Flour Power shirt, except it's FLOUR. Chris got me this shirt. It's giving sourdough vibes. It's got a rolling pin, a whisk, and a spatula, and a little bowl. And did I make a loaf of sourdough bread this morning? I absolutely did. Did I wear this shirt because I was doing baking today? I absolutely did. And then I was like, wait, I need to do an episode of the podcast. Did I change? No, I did not. I said, flour power, sourdough, baby. I am killing it with the sourdough. I actually, you guys, my sourdough starter, Dolene, she just turned 1 year old a few weeks ago. My sourdough starter is officially 1 year old, which means she's been just all kinds of delivering with delicious loaves of bread. Very good, really exciting stuff. She's matured, and the thing that I've learned about sourdough is the more you feed it and the longer it exists, the better your bread is. That's why there are some people out there who have been passing down sourdough starter for generations, and they're like, this sourdough starter is 150 years old. And there's a reason it makes banging bread. There's a reason that Meemaw's great-great-grandmother's sourdough starter that's crumbled and in a dry form that needs rehydrated is banging. It makes a damn good loaf, because the older they get, The more mature the starter gets, the better, the more sour and nasty and tangy and delicious that bread's gonna get. And you know what? Am I obsessed with making sourdough? I absolutely am. Is it my personality? It absolutely is. Have I been baking loaves for friends and family? Yes, I have. It's been so fun. It's been in the beginning, it was not very therapeutic. In the beginning, it was actually not therapeutic. In the beginning, I was crashing out because in true Sagittarius form, if I start something and I'm not perfect at it, I want to quit and I hate myself and I'm an idiot. Whoops. So when I started sourdough and I was like, why the fuck am I not getting a loaf? Why is this thing dense, hard as a rock, thick, heavy when I'm following the instructions correctly? It turns out I need my sourdough starter to mature a little bit, which is my biggest tip. And again, if you guys want me to go into detail about that, I've considered doing like a TikTok series because there are just so many videos and bits of advice out there about sourdough, and they still all confuse me a little bit. I would just like to make a very simple, like, hey, this is what it is. Ignore the verbiage, ignore the big fancy terms, ignore the big fancy like utensils in the kitchen. Let's like really simplify this because it's really not that hard. It's literally just flour and water, and that's it. And then when you actually go to bake a loaf, all you do is add salt and water and bread flour, and you have a loaf. I say it all the time. If like colonial women could do it, if women in whatever age period could do it without scales and this and that and the internet, like it can't be that hard. And why are we overcomplicating it? I feel like that's kind of a good metaphor though for sort of where society is today. We're overcomplicating the shit out of things that don't need to be overcomplicated. And all that to say, I do think I have sourdough pretty well down pat now. Like I definitely have a good routine going. I've got it. So I think as the spring progresses, I'd like to work on more exciting loaves, some inclusions and all of that. It's been very fun. It took getting through the rough crash out phase to get to the therapeutic fun of it all. But that's just what it is now. It's fun and I love it and highly recommend. I've thought about it recently, though, as to how many of those that listen to this podcast, maybe you're newer listeners or you guys have been here from like the very beginning, the very first episode, you've been on my YouTube channel for a long time, into which I would say thank you. No matter, when or where or how you started listening, I'm grateful for any ear that listens or any eye that, watches the episodes. But I don't know, like for anyone that is newer, like if you've been sort of caught up to speed on my life, more so just like rapid fire is I do social media part-time. I also work in physical therapy. Like this was never meant to be a full-time job for me. I used to work 12-hour shifts. I used to absolutely grind all the time. I would have like 2 days off in the middle of the week, sometimes like every other weekend. And I was pretty consistent with like getting videos up, doing the podcast. Like I was hustling and I was just like working really hard. And I think that was great for that specific time in my life. It made sense. This was like my early to mid 20s. It made sense. I had all this extra energy. I had all this time. It was doable for the time. If you don't know, I have mentioned it before. I will mention it again. This is never going to not come up. And, if it makes you uncomfortable, I'm sorry. But like, I'm also not, because this is just my life. It's part of my life. It's part of who I am. My mom passed away in April of 2024. And it's just insane to think about how we are working on 2 years of her being gone. And I think a lot about the last 2 years in a way of what my creativity has looked like and like who is Kayla and what am I doing or what have I done or what's going to happen kind of to me. And it's a little confusing to explain it because something to that level, something that monumental in your life, truly so devastating, is huge. Is you can't even really put it into a measuring sort of terminology. To have lost my mom is huge. It has changed me in ways I didn't think was possible. My life has shifted. My brain chemistry has altered. Everything about me is different. And I know I joked at the beginning of this episode, I'm like, I'm still the same. I still yap. Like I am to my core. I'm still me. I'm still Kayla. I love and do and participate in some of the things that I've always loved, but there's still a part of me that has changed. And I would argue that it would be weird if I didn't change a little bit after something like this happened. But I've been reflecting a lot. And I think too, especially as like her 2-year anniversary is like slowly getting closer as April is, around the corner. Who am I? And like, really, what do I want to do and what do I want to achieve? And I think it made me start to realize, how do I get my spark back? Like, how do I bring joy back into my life? What can I do? How do I do it? How can I inspire other people to do it? And I was thinking about it for so long that I was like, I need to talk about this on the podcast. And for starters, like, I'm going to say this, like, I have myself in this category of like, I kind of have this, Uno reverse card. I kind of have this get out of jail free card, however you want to describe it. I have the dead mom card. Okay. I have that as an excuse, and I think it's valid for anything that I want to apply to. And let me preface this by saying this is not to be manipulative. This is not to get my way. This is not to weasel out of things. This is not to let myself be a bad person or a lazy person or a procrastinating type of person. This is just, hey, this happened to me. This lives in my head 24/7. I have the weight of this on me all the time. Grief doesn't go away. Grief is with me all the time. And so I have this card that's the my mom is dead card. And I feel like I have this free will to use it whenever I want. And some people may agree with that and some people might not. And let me explain. When you've gone through something so devastating and something that truly takes up so much space in your life, in your mental health, in your physical health, in your everyday, you get this sort of exemption. Like, if I don't want to go to an event because I'm feeling anxious because I think about my mom, then so be it. If I don't want to go to this thing where everyone's moms are going to be and I'm the only one without my mom, I don't have to go. If I'm just generally not feeling great because something has to do with my mom, I'm allowed to just pack it away and not deal with it. This is, again, not an excuse for me to be a flaky friend. This is not whatever. This is like a real life situation, though, of something that I deal with. And I know this can be applied to other people in different scenarios. Maybe you just got a divorce. Maybe you lost your child. Maybe you had a pregnancy loss. You lost a parent. Whatever the situation is. Maybe your house burned down. Like, there are so many really intense things that happen in this life that weigh on somebody that just doesn't just go away. Like, it doesn't just magically disappear. And I'll speak for grief and I'll speak for Liz and my mom. That is something that weighs on me all the time. It doesn't go away. And I've talked to even Chris about this before, that I'm somebody who loves to nap. I love a nap on a Sunday afternoon, middle of the day nap, whatever. I think it has to do with my depression. But when I nap, it's like whatever amount of time I'm asleep for, I'm taken away from the world in which my mom is gone. Because sometimes I have dreams or I go to sleep and my mom is there or my mom appears in my dreams. So it's like a nice break from reality that, like, oh yeah, she doesn't exist anymore. There are other moments that I do find like peace and quiet. But for most of the time, like, sleep for me feels like that escape that I need. Is that something I should be working on with a therapist? Probably. Again, depression largely has to do with that. But it's also just like grief. Like, that's what grief has done to me. It's made me feel that way. The other thing with grief is, like, it has, because it's with me all the time, there are lots and lots and lots of moments where just my normal spark of who I am is diminished. And I don't feel like I can be myself. I don't feel like I can sit in front of a camera and turn it on and be this person that I want to be. I procrastinate on things. I do things differently now. And it's not 100% to put on grief, but it's largely to put on grief. And when I come to the internet and I'm like looking at my schedules and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't upload anything this week. I talk about my podcast being like new episode every Monday and I don't upload or whatever. I don't do a video. I feel immense guilt. Like, let me just start there. I hate it. I hate not putting something up every week. I know what it's like to have a comfort creator. I know what it's like to wait and be excited to watch somebody's video or listen to their podcast. And then the disappointment that you feel when they don't follow through with that. I get that. And I don't do that on purpose. I forget or don't upload or postpone it because that's just like how life is for me at this moment. I don't have this desire to hustle and grind anymore. I frankly don't have the energy for it. I love the podcast. I love YouTube, but sometimes I just like need to just not do it. There's this weird element again of like, I sit with this grief and I have it and it just exists within me that I just sometimes I'm like, you know what I don't want to do is go sit in front of my camera and just like talk because I'm just sad today. I'm thinking about my mom today. I'm thinking about something that happened. I'm thinking of an anniversary or this or a specific memory or something. And it just is like, I can't do it. I can't. This is not like, oh, I just need a rest and then I can do it. This is like, I can't do this. There have been moments where I have had to cancel plans on my friends or not show up to things because this wave of anxiety or this wave of panic just gets over me. And I'm suddenly back in this position where I'm sat next to her in the hospital, getting bombarded with medical information and hearing all of this stuff. And like, I get put in these zones where I am just completely withdrawn from what's happening. And I'm immediately transported back to these moments of dealing with everything that happened with my mom. And again, for me, it's like, I have this card, I have it in my pocket. It's like, I have the dead mom card. I can exempt myself from things if I think it is good for my mental health. And if that makes me sound flaky, if that makes me sound lazy, if that makes me sound like whatever, think all you want. I know deep down what that means for me. And this is not like to come on here and like point blame or like anything like that. But like I said, I obviously feel immense guilt when I don't hold onto my end of this deal, I guess, for social media. I hate not uploading, I hate not recording, I hate not posting to my YouTube channel. It just feels like I'm disappointing you guys, and I'm already sometimes disappointed in myself for that. But again, it's like, this is not me just willy-nilly like, whoopsie, I forgot to upload. Oh, well, this is like when I don't upload and you guys don't hear from me, it's because life is just happening around me. And there's usually a sense of overwhelming existence. There is maybe anxiety, maybe there's panic, maybe there's flashbacks. And I never want you guys to be upset with me. Like, I know it's probably annoying to not, get that podcast that you were hoping for, or maybe you find peace in my YouTube videos or something. And I never want that to be like, oh, she's being lazy, she didn't upload this week, or like, oh, I can't believe she's gone. This is just like a new norm for me. I don't have the energy or the mental capacity to grind like I used to in my early YouTube days. Like, I have a completely different mindset now. I've done work-life balance a lot better now. I've learned a lot of lessons since my mom died. I tried to be more present in my relationship and in my friendships. And sometimes that means not bringing my camera or not, taking the time to sit down and record a podcast. And it doesn't mean I don't care about this or about you guys by any means. It does not mean that. It's like my priorities have shifted, and I do need that time for whatever that looks like. And sometimes I just frankly can't. And like, that's all I can say. You know how people say no is a complete sentence? Sometimes I can't. It's just what it is. And I don't need any toxic positivity in my ear being like, yes, you can. Oh my God, queen. Yes, you can. No, like literally sometimes I can't. And like, that is it. And that's okay. We don't have to like exist in this world where it's like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Sometimes it's a no, the hell I can't. I need time to myself. I need to sleep. I need to just turn off. I need to log off. I need to do things for me. And I just can't. It doesn't mean you're lazy. It doesn't mean you're giving up. It doesn't mean this is going to be who you are for the rest of your life. It's just sometimes you just frankly can't. And that is okay. And I hope we start normalizing that, because I think that's what we need. There are things that occur in life where I'm just like, I can't do this. For whatever it is, I can't do this. And I don't owe anyone an explanation. And if you think I'm a shitty person, if you think I'm a shitty friend, first of all, you have the wrong idea in your head, because that's not my intention. That's not what this is. It's just sometimes there are things that happen, or events that will go on, or things that are happening, and I'm just like, I can't, and I'm sorry. And there's no explanation, because it's not even something I can put into words. When I tell you guys, my brain chemistry has altered since my mom died. That's not a quirky haha. That is like a real thing. Like, there has been a complete shift in my brain and how I process emotion and feeling and time management and things that once brought me joy. Like, it's a real thing. If you can talk to anybody that's, youngish or at any age, I think, that has lost a parent, that has lost a child, that has lost someone so immensely close to you, it does something to your brain. And I am victim of that. I have firsthand experienced that. I never thought I would be somebody that lost a parent before they turned 30, but I am. You can't ever plan for those sorts of things to happen. Like, you don't know if that's going to happen to you. I miss elements of myself before my mom died. Like, there are parts of me that I'm like, I so wish I could get that back. I just don't have that energy anymore. I don't have that brain power, that capacity to do certain things. And I lost that when my mom died. And that's okay. I sort of mourn those parts of me that don't exist or that aren't coming back because of that. But a lot of the times it's just like me being okay with it. And I think the beauty of that is having like a really good support system in life, having Chris around, having my friends around, like they understand. And not to say, again, I'm coming here on this podcast being like, I need everybody that listens to my podcast to understand. Because again, sometimes you can't truly understand it unless you've been there. But this is just sort of me trying to get this off my chest of like, hey, if I don't upload, you guys, like this is not because I think the internet is a joke and I don't care and I'm not putting my heart and soul into it. It's just like, there are moments where I'm just like, I can't do this. I don't have the creative energy. And I just need to just not do it, because also I'm not trying to pump out content that sucks just to have something that's like uploaded. Does that make sense? Grief is so weird, especially the dead parent spectrum. Again, this shift has certainly happened, and I've had a few friends that have also lost their parents, and we've all talked about it, how it is like this very bizarre, eerie sort of thing that happens when you're like, I am actually a different person now. There, again, are elements of me that are still the same and I still, exist within myself, but there's a lot of things that are different now. And that's just like how it is. And that's how it's going to be. And just being willing to accept that. Again, it doesn't mean you have to like live in this sad, depressive, grief-ridden box forever and just be miserable, but it's like okay to accept the fact that I don't have that stamina anymore, or I don't have the energy to do certain things that I used to do all the time. And there are some activities or some things that I can't do because I just think of my mom and it makes me too sad and I just can't do it. And that's just like, it is what it is. I thought of ways to structure this episode, and every time I was trying, I was like, it's really just not making sense. So if what I've said for the last however long I've been talking, if it sort of seems all over the place and doesn't really make sense, it's because it is. And like, that's just like how it is coming out of my head. That's just like how I've been thinking of things. So if it sort of seems, again, tangential or off, like not really linear, it's because it is. Sometimes I just got to say stuff, and how it pops up in my head is just how it is. On this idea of, yes, my life is different, and yes, things have shifted, and like this can again happen for anybody, for large monumental life events, whether these be good or bad or whatever. Yes, things can change. Yes, your personality might change, or who you are can change. But I also think that there is an importance of like, how do I get my spark back? Which was really the idea of this episode of the podcast, is like, how do I get that back? What if I've been through a very detrimental breakup, a divorce? What if I've, again, lost a child? I've lost a parent. I lost the job, or I lost my house, or something that means so much to me. It feels irreplaceable, whatever that might look like for you. And I think there are thousands and thousands of examples of what that could look like for somebody. And life is crazy, and there's so much going on at all times, and everyone has such a different life that they're experiencing, or different phases of life. So if there's anything that applies to you where you feel like you've lost your spark, again, maybe you're in a long-term relationship, you broke up, you don't know who you are anymore, you've lost your spark, you're like, how do I get this back? Like, how do I get back elements of myself? This is an open-ended question, because how do you get that back, right? I have some thoughts that I'll share, but this episode is less of like, I have so much advice to give to you, and more of like, whatever you guys have for me, I'm open, I'm all ears, because I'm also trying to figure it out. And again, I'm not trying to put myself in this box and say like, we have to like hurry, like suck it up, get over the grief, move on, like get your spark back and like pretend like nothing ever happened. Because I've already accepted that that's like not real. Like grief is just, you walk alongside grief. It exists with you. It's not going anywhere. It's just not. It doesn't matter how much therapy you do, how much processing, how happy you are, how good life is. Grief is still there. My mom is still dead. That's not going away. That is what it is. But how do I give myself this opportunity amongst the grief or amongst whatever terrible thing has happened in my life? Amongst all of that, how do I still enjoy this life? How do I get my spark back? How do I begin doing those things that I love again? How do I find that creative outlet? How do I do things that are going to bring me joy while also still acknowledging that grief exists within me at the same time? And I'm working on that. Little ways I have been working on getting my spark back is making sure that I'm taking time for things that I love. I talked about making sourdough at the start of this episode as being kind of a silly smartass, whatever. Sourdough is fun for me. Baking is so fun for me. I've been really into baking. It's been really exciting. That's something I've been doing to try to get my spark back. Things that I can do that incorporate my mom or are in honor of my mom or in memory of her that don't make me feel terribly depressed or sad, I do them. For example, I told you guys a few episodes back, I'm obsessed with Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been playing it on the Switch. I'm literally addicted to the game. It's so fun. It's been actually very therapeutic. It helps me not doom scroll. It's cozy, it's fun, it's lighthearted, it's easy to do, and I really enjoy it. And as I've been decorating my island, as I've been getting my island situated, I decided that in this like one little corner of my island, that's a cute little like, it's this cute little elevated surface near the ocean that I was like, this is a really cute spot that I think I want to just like dedicate to my mom. And I know that sounds silly. It's like, what are you talking about? You're going to dedicate a little small corner of your video game to your mother? Hey, yeah, I actually am, by the way. I'm going to. So I decided to make a little like Cinda's Cove, or like, I haven't really given it a name yet, but Animal Crossing is just so cute and pure, and I love it so much. And like, you can buy flowers and plant flowers and get trees and grow trees and harvest things, and it's just like really fun. And my mom was an avid gardener, and so I've decided to take this part of my game and just have this little area dedicated to her. And that has brought me a little bit of my spark back, because I can go to this place on my island and like water the flowers and like sit on the little bench, and I put a little pair of like rain boots there because that makes me think of her. And it's just, that is something that gives me this like spark, this little bit of me that feels like me, that brings me joy. There's just different things in life that get you back to being you. And again, I think like, how do I get my spark back is like, how do I ignite this fire in myself to live my best life, to be as happy and fulfilled as I can be, all while still dealing with something so heavy like grief or like loss or something life altering. Because most of us, and I'm just turned 30. I can think for a lot of us up to 30, most of us have probably had at least one relatively big life-altering experience. Again, whether that be the death of a loved one, maybe you had a pet that you loved and cherished for, half of your life that's gone. That's a big deal, right? Maybe you got out of a long-term relationship. There are so many examples of things that can take away somebody's spark. And it's sad and it sucks, because when you see yourself withering away, it's like, I don't even know how to explain it. It is like, I almost feel these like out of body experiences from time to time, where if I'm being like really lazy and laying on the couch, if I'm being very unproductive, I'm having a moment where I'm sad, I let myself have that, especially when it's grief related. But it's almost like I am out of body and I can like see myself from this like third character perspective and third person perspective, whatever. And I almost want to like reach out for myself and be like, don't let this kind of grief consume you. Don't let this be who you are now. Like, you got to do something to get your spark back. Because also, like, if my mom were alive, like, she would not want me to be wasting moments of my life to be sad or to just having like lost my creative energy or losing things that mean the most to me, and like not getting out and hanging out with my friends, not picking up a camera and doing photography and little photo shoots, because those are things that I love. Those are things that, by definition, bring out the spark of myself. Like, that is my spark. That is something that makes me me. And I have to work extra hard to like not lose those elements of myself in these moments. And like I said, when I have those moments where I feel that it's almost out of body experience, I look in at myself and I just think, This is not how like your happy-go-lucky, silly, whimsical, excited about life, imaginative, creative childhood self would want you to be living. This is not the me that my mom would want to see me as. Like, I have a life. I have been granted life. I have the ability to exist. Why would I not do my best to fulfill that? And again, like also in honor of my mom who no longer has life, why would I not do things that spark my joy or bring me excitement or things that I can do for me that represent who I am? Because at the end of the day, my mom is gone and that sucks. But it's like if she were here, she would want me to be doing things that bring me joy and like not waste my time staying in this area that's just sad. And I think that is deserving of getting my spark back because I don't want to waste this life that I have been given, that's been created for me. And I think about it all the time and it just makes me like obviously very emotional that she's not here to witness what she created. She only got to, experience having children for 30 years. She didn't get to see us, progress into old age or get married or whatever it is. And it's like, that makes me realize that I have no choice. I have to get my spark. I have to live life for me, to make my mom proud, to be the best version of myself, to be the most creative version of myself. Again, acknowledging it's okay to have moments when you just can't, and acknowledge that and let that be okay instead of like beating yourself up entirely. Because again, that first year, like after my mom died, and rightfully so, I didn't want to do a damn thing. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to take care of myself. I didn't want to go to work. I couldn't, and I wasn't going to. And that is so okay. I even think now, again, like the card I'm telling you guys about, like, it's not an excuse to just be flaky and to get out of stuff. I have to sit down and remember all the time that I owe nobody an explanation. I don't have to put on a brave face for anybody. I don't have to do something I don't want to do. My mom has only been gone for under 2 years. Less than 2 years. So if I don't want to record an episode of the podcast, if I don't want to record myself for YouTube, I don't have to. Because I'm still dealing with that. That is still so fresh. So incredibly fresh. And I get in my head all the time where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm not doing this. I can't believe I'm not productive. I can't believe I'm not getting a chore done. I can't believe I'm not hanging out with my friends. I talk about the podcast and YouTube because that just comes to mind. I'm doing it right now. But I think about other things in life that I put off or I avoid. And then I'm like, well, why am I not doing that? Or why am I putting it off? Or why is it something that's stopping me? And I'm like, well, I'm sad. I'm feeling emotional about my mom. It's like, it's too much for me. And I'm very quick to beat myself up and be like, okay, well, get up, go do something, like stop. But then I'm also like, this is still so incredibly fresh and new. 2 years is nothing. I don't even think I've processed my mom being literally not even here, gone. Like it still feels like she's just like on a vacation or gone and I just like haven't been in contact with her. Like do you process that? I don't know. Is there a time frame? I don't know. I just have to remind myself, like, it has barely been 2 years. It is okay to not show up, to not be present, to not do certain things, because that's grief. And that is just living with grief. And that's just existing amongst grief. But when I have those moments where the weight of grief is taken off my shoulders and I'm okay and I'm able to sort of come to the surface and I'm offloaded by the grief, I just get in my head where I'm like, I still have to find something worth living for. I have to do the things that bring me joy, and I have to find a way to get my spark back. And I'll be honest, I'm still learning ways to do that. I'm trying to figure out how I get my spark back that makes sense for me, because I know I'm not going to be this identical person to who I used to be. There's no purpose in me trying to strive to become this person, to go back to being exactly who I was, because I'm never going to be the same person. Ever. I have this huge hole in my heart from my mom, and I'm just not going to be that person again, and that's okay. But when I look at life now and I'm like, I have to get my spark back, I have to keep things like lighthearted. And I do that by, really leaning into my nostalgia. That's why I like looking at my childhood photos, childhood VHS tapes, why I talk about the 90s and the early 2000s on this podcast, why I'm like, oh my gosh, I love watching Friends. Like it feels nostalgic because those things are my spark. Doing little creative things, getting into watercolor and crafting and baking and watching old shows or old movies on repeat because I love them, because that's who I am. And those are things that give me my spark. And that's how I'm getting those back. I am doing things that fulfill me back to my childhood self, things that fulfill me and make me happy, with no apologies, with no intention of wondering what people are going to think about me, with no judgment, with no fear of what other people are going to say or how they're going to act or whatever. Just like unapologetically being who I am now and acknowledging that. That's how I'm getting my spark back. I'm giving myself grace. I'm giving myself time, and I'm giving myself the ability to feel, and I'm being gentle with myself. Because again, when I get in my head and I'm like, you have to be creative, you have to do this, you have to upload, you have to record, you have to be productive, I'm like, it's barely been 2 years. I literally have not even hit her 2-year anniversary of her being gone. I give myself that grace. I let myself have that moment, and it's okay. It is okay to have that. And when I'm settled and when I've acknowledged those feelings and I'm ready, I'm just patient with myself. I'm like, I know I can get my spark back. I know I can do these things that I love. I just have to do it on a different timeline. Getting my spark back is making YouTube videos. Getting my spark back is making podcast episodes. And I'm still doing it, but here's the difference. I don't hustle and grind and do it 24/7 now. If I have energy, I record when I can record. If I have energy, I upload when I upload. If I have the desire to do it, I do it when it makes sense. I no longer hold myself to the standard of like, it has to be done here, and this time, and I live on this like rigid structure. Because that just doesn't work for me anymore. That does not give me my spark back. Having things in a balance, doing things from time to time when it makes sense, giving myself grace, giving myself patience, that is what it's all about. And that has been something that's been incredibly helpful in terms of getting my spark back. Because also, like, I can't just sit here and be like, I have to get my spark back and just go 0 to 100 and be like, I have to make a mood board and a Pinterest board and a New Year's resolution. I have to do this. It's like, hey, that just doesn't work for me anymore. It doesn't. I have to do things with intention and slowly, and I have to think about things that make sense, and I have to do it with grace, and I have to be kind to myself and gentle, and I have to do things calmly, because that's what works for me now. That is how I get my spark back. Giving yourself the patience that you need, the time that you need, finding things in your old self that you do love and you do cherish and you do appreciate, and how can you add a twist to that? How can you twist it for where your life is now? How do you alter it for where life is now? How can you make little small adjustments to the things that you used to love, but still do them and just make those little changes because things are different now? I'm still working on it. I think getting your spark back is just something that takes time, and there is no finish line either. Like, I don't think there's just going to be one day where it's like, I look on the calendar and I'm like, yep, today's the day I have my spark back. Like, it's just something that I think is going to take precious time, patience with yourself. It's kindness to yourself. It's not rushing things. It's not making yourself feel bad because you ditched your friends because you needed that time alone. It's not feeling obligated to be a yes man or to do things that don't make you feel comfortable. It's okay to say no to things. It's okay to say I can't do something. It's okay to ask for help. It's also okay to not ask for help. It's okay to get to things at a different time. It's okay to come back to things as well. Because there's also times in life where you're going to put things on the back burner or put it up on a shelf, and you'll come back to it. Just because it's over there doesn't mean you're never going to touch it again. It just might need some time. And sometimes in the time it takes to get back to that thing you love, you may have more love for it. You may have more energy for it. You might have new creative ideas for it. And I think that we should embrace that, and we should have empowerment towards something like that, where it's like, okay, I'm not done with YouTube and the podcast, and I'm not done with, whatever my watercolor paintings, but I do need to just like set it over there for a little bit and just give myself time right here. And the thing I love is over there, but I'm going to come back to it. I will. Right now I can't because I'm going through something. I'm going through grief. I'm going through a breakup. I'm going through the hardest time of my life for whatever that is. It's over here and I love it and I see it and I'm coming back to it. I just can't right now, but I will. I think that's all I got for this episode. Thank you for listening, for supporting, watching, listening, engaging, interacting. I'll see you guys next time with a new episode, whenever that is. Take care of yourself, protect your peace. Mwah, mwah.